headache all day, backache, shoulder ache. When your spine starts to, the disc starts to deteriorate, it's a one-way street. It pinches nerves.
I bet. Yeah. How mobile is she?
That's the rock.
That's it.
Yep. Walk and drive.
I'm sure. Well, if you feel you can do it away, you're always welcome to join us Monday. Now in the Aldrich, as you probably see.
Yes. Every meditation is basically a side effect.
Yep. She taking a lot of meds? Yeah. And there are interactions between them.
Several things going on.
Yeah. Right. Well, yes. I don't know, but Joan went around very carefully and put them on every other chair. And now I see they're dropping on the floor and getting put on random chairs. But I have one on my chair back, so I think you and I will be sharing. Yeah. Exactly. So yesterday I was in Woodbury Mountains at a pollinator bioblend, primarily a bumblebee bioblend, identifying pollinators that were at work in the final bloom of fall flowers. And I met a guy named Hannes Frank, who's German, and he taught languages at University of New Hampshire, amongst other places. And he doesn't know any other German speakers in the area besides his wife, who just speaks Deutsch, I think. So I hope, especially once we return to Montpelier, we'll get him to join us as well. We live in Woodbury. And so Barry is a bit of a drive for him, but Montpelier is just down the road. And we recently had a new guy move to East Montpelier on Pony Road in July, who is a German native, but has lived outside of Germany for 35 years now. His name is Johannes Frank. Helmut Rope moved here from Oregon. He lived in Oregon and Hawaii.
The distance is great. I'm going to talk like this.
Helmut R-O-G-G.
I'll give you a cue, probably another minute or two.
Yeah. We've been reading Emil Executive, that children's story, and I got much more into it this week. I did the reading listening method where I listened to the audiobook by itself, and then I listened to the audiobook while reading the English, and then I listened while reading the German, and it sunk in much better that way. Yeah. I sent out the link. That was in an email this morning. Yeah. Well, each chapter is only less than 10 minutes long in the audio. We do a chapter a week. You can listen to it several times. conversation with people.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're going to hear two calls to worship this morning. The first is the traditional call to worship for the high holidays in Judaism. This is a shofar. This is what Joshua blew to bring down the walls of Jericho. So when you go out after the service, if some of you have cracked windshields, I'm sorry, that's the cost of religion. This evening marks the beginning of Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day in the Hebrew calendar, and it comes tomorrow. Jews around the world will spend the day in worship and fasting as they pray to God, repenting their sins and asking for forgiveness. This period of worship, Jewish worship, began 10 days ago with Rosh Hashanah, the new year. These 10 days are referred to as both the high holy days and the days of awe. There are special foods and celebrations which come to an end on this day. In most congregations, the beginning and end of the high holy days are signaled by the blowing of the shofar, an instrument that obviously dates from ancient times. Traditionally, the shofar is made from a ram's horn. I'm going to play the sequence of notes, and I use that term loosely, that traditionally signals the end of the high holy days. You will hear one long blast called tekiah, three shorter blasts called shevarim, and 9 even shorter blasts called teruah, and one very long blast, sometimes called tekiah gedola. When that comes, I hope you are impressed with the lung power of this 85-year-old with COPD. Following our service, I will offer the opportunity to inspect the shofar during coffee hour. Depending on the weather, I was going to go out. Could not find any alcohol wipes because I wanted to give people a chance to blow it, and somebody may have brought some, I don't know. However, so we will wait till a later time and offer you the opportunity to play it.
Good morning. I would like to share the land acknowledgement from our host, the North Branch Nature Center, as posted on their website. North Branch Nature Center acknowledges that we reside upon the traditional unceded home of the Western Abenaki people. These lands and waters have been a site of meeting and exchange among indigenous people for thousands of years. North Branch Nature Center honors, recognizes, and respects the Abenaki as the traditional stewards of this landscape. We strive to respect and protect this land while continually honoring the legacy of Vermont's indigenous people, the Abenaki people of the Dawn. Welcome. Thanks to Stephen for helping us all wake up, which indeed is what many Jews view one of the main purposes of blowing the shofar at this time, is to help us wake up and renew our commitment to care for ourselves, each other, and the land. I am Leah Greenberg, your worship associate. This morning, on behalf of the entire worship team, I'd like to welcome those of you here and those of you online. This service is an all ages service, so we also welcome the additional noise and movement and energy that might be present during the service. And please know that we do have hearing assist devices in the back of the room. For over 155 years, the Unitarian Universalist congregation has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance as well as peace and justice in the world. We welcome all into this community that affirms the worth and dignity of every person and the interdependence we share with all existence. And if this is your first or second time joining us for worship and you wish to do so, we'd invite you to wave or stand up so we can all offer you a special welcome. You are welcome to join us after services at our hospitality table during coffee hour. We have a welcome form that you can fill out so we can stay more connected. We're so glad you're here today. And now you can all join in the welcoming. You could take a few moments to turn to your neighbors and share a few words of greeting.
Hi, good to see
Switch it turned on.
Thank you. Thank you all. You can. Wow, we have a lot to talk about. So continue after the service. That will be great. Yes, keep going later. Yes, keep talking later. Thank you for sharing in that. And today, a member of our lay pastoral care team is available to offer a listening ear, should you care for that. And Betty McKinnell, can you give us a wave? There she is. If you would like to chat a little more, she's available. And now, let's take a moment to take a deep breath, silence our devices, and enter more deeply into our time of worship with the prelude. As we enter into the first full day of autumn, let us enter now into this time of worship, welcoming all the parts of ourselves in need of nourishment and renewal. We welcome the part of you that seeks solace for your aching heart. We welcome the part of you that brims with joy and unfettered delight. We welcome the part of you that hungers for a new season and a fresh start. Into this gathering, let us bring all the parts of ourselves as we gather in community and in communion with one another, with the earth that holds us, and with the spirit and conscience within that guides us on our path. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to rise and embody your spirit for our opening hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. The words can be found in the order of service.
We'll play one time through just to remind you of the
Thank you. I'd like to invite forward Sandra Haddock, who is the chair of the congregation's Climate Action Team. And Sandra will be available and around after service and is happy to talk with folks who are interested in learning more about our Climate Action Team. And as Sandra lights the chalice, I'd like to invite you to join me in saying these words of affirmation from L. Griswold Williams. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant. So I'd like to invite forward or into the room if there are any children or people young at heart who'd like to come a little bit closer for our Time for All Ages. There truly, anyone who's young at heart, there are a couple of seats in the front row. There's some space here on the floor. You're welcome to come in too if you'd like. I know we have some of our folks waiting in the wings because of how beautifully full it is, but we do have some space. So welcome all. So I think that one of the hardest things for any of us to do, no matter what age we are, is to admit when we've done something wrong. And by doing something wrong, I mean doing something that damages our relationship with someone else, something that hurts someone else's feelings, And sometimes it's when we haven't done something that we hurt someone else's feelings. And I find it really hard sometimes to acknowledge when I've done something to hurt someone else. Do any of you find that hard to do? Maybe a little show of hands, yeah. So imagine that there is a string that connects you to me, and you to other people. You can keep passing that. You want to pass it, Genevieve? So there's this string that connects us. And when we hurt someone else or someone hurts us, it's as if this string that holds us together gets kind of frayed. And what's holding us together isn't quite as strong as it used to be. And at the start of the service, Steve shared of the Jewish holy day of Yom Kippur, which begins this evening. That string can journey as it wishes around the room. It doesn't need to journey all around the room, but it can journey. Yom Kippur is a day of reflecting on the mistakes that you might have made and what you can do to make things better. And there's actually a similar holy day in the Jain religion, Jain, which is a religion mostly practiced in India. And this day is called Samvatsari. It's the final day of an 8-day festival called Paryushan, a festival of forgiveness. And Samvatsari was celebrated just a few days ago. In both of these religions and in other religious traditions, it's important that we acknowledge how we have damaged the string that holds us together. To say sorry when we hurt someone else, and to find a way to make things better, perhaps even to repair the string. And it's not just people who we sometimes hurt. We are also part of this beautiful planet Earth. We get to witness out the windows of the Nature Center. And sometimes we do things that hurt our planet and other living beings that we share this planet with. Do any of you know of some of the ways that we hurt our planet? I want to call any out. What are some of the ways that we hurt our planet? Polluting the air, polluting the waters, taking more than we need hurts our planet. Thank you, those are all good examples. And so there's also a string that connects us to the world around us, and we can sometimes make this string weaker. But we can find ways to repair this string as well with our words and our actions. We can make sure that we're not polluting the air or the waters or taking more than we need. We can use energy that comes from the sun and the wind. We can grow food to eat in our own backyards. We can remember to slow down, to pause, to revel in the beauty of the trees, the flowers, and the sky. That also repairs this string. Later in the service, we'll be talking more about how we can notice when we aren't being our best selves, how we make this string between us weaker, and what we can do to make it stronger. And I hope this is something all of you, children, kids in the room and at home can talk about with your families and think about in the week ahead. So thank you so much for listening, for being a part of my string, being connected to me. And in just a moment, I will be dismissing our children for their spiritual exploration programs. But first, I have some important and very happy news to share about our spiritual exploration program. And so I think everyone knows that we were really blessed to have Rowan Van Ness as our acting director of spiritual exploration last church year. And Rowan moved on to other things, and we had a great hiring committee that worked really hard over the summer to try to fill that position. and we were unable to fill the permanent role of Director of Spiritual Exploration. And in the meantime, with everything happening post-flood and all the flux and having this position open, things have come together wonderfully, and I'm so grateful to have joining our staff. She's going to make a very dramatic entrance, I think. Returning to UCM as our interim Director of Spiritual Exploration. Oh my gosh, this is like turning into a drum roll moment. Sally Armstrong. Oh, she's back there. So yeah. Sally's back there. There are many well-deserved and happy applause to have Sally back on staff with UCM. Sally served as our Director of Religious Education from 2010 to 2016, has since returning back to Vermont after being away for a while, volunteering in our spiritual exploration program, and so grateful to have you rejoining UCM and supporting our children, youth, and families for the rest of this church year. So yay for having Sally back with us, who starts tomorrow. So now children who are in preschool through 4th grade, we have our spiritual exploration groups meeting this morning. Your group leads are actually out in the lobby, so if you're in the room and want to join them, you can head out this way. Our groups will be headed outside to the Swallow's Nest and under a tent. Parents and caregivers, please go and pick up your children by 10:40. And let us now join in singing our children out with As You Go. Behold you in our love as you go. May your heart be as deep as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. Behold you in our love as you go. And for another special announcement, I would like to invite up UCM member Leslie Parr to share a bit about our Chalice Circles program that has just relaunched.
Morning all. Take a look around this room. I see lots of friends, and I see lots of people who could be friends. And one way for us to make that wonderful connection to become friends is through something called our Chalice Circles, which are a variety of different ways of getting together, sharing spiritual thoughts and things about our lives in a structured way. You've heard about Seasoned Souls, you've heard about small group ministry, you've heard about Soul Matters. We have quite a few choices. And today at the membership table, we have sign-up sheets for those Chalice Circle gatherings. I have been a member of a small group ministry for years, and I love it. And I just want to share a little bit about what that's like. We get together 2 times a month. There are 8 to 10 of us in a Chalice Circle, small group ministry group, and we talk about a topic which might have something to do with the theme of the month, or it could be something entirely different. So just to give you an example, we might be talking about how we grew up. We might be talking about planting a tree. We might be talking about play. We might be talking about secrets. And we do this through conversation, which is facilitated, and we do it through wonderful readings that we gather. 2 times a month, friendship, deep thinking. If this appeals to you, please add your name to the list at the sign-up sheets at the membership table outside, and I'll be here after the service if you'd like to ask me any questions at all about chalice service. Thank you.
I also wanted to let folks know that we will be returning to this space next week. And we will be returning to our time of 10 o'clock, so we don't have to wake up quite as early. Yes. And for additional announcements, please do check the e-news. And our generosity is a form of love, so our gifts freely given help us practice the Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation. And each month, the UCM Pouch program chooses an important church fund or a community organization aligned with our values. And this month's Pouch recipient is still the UCM Care Fund. The Care Fund is primarily funded through donations and is used to provide short-term assistance to members of the broader UCM community, such as housing costs and utility bills. The Care Fund is available also to support those in need from flood relief and recovery needs. Half of our cash offerings will go to this Pouch recipient. The other half will go directly to support the ministry and the mission of our congregation. If you wish to designate your entire offering, you can mention Community Pouch with a note attached to your cash or in the memo line of your check, and otherwise they will go into the church. You can find this offering basket in the back of the room as you exit, or you can still text to give, go online to the website, or send checks to the church at the 130 Main Street address. Thanks in advance for your generosity, for being part of this community of giving.
The Montpelier Flood Choir formed this summer in the weeks following July 10th. Our only firm intention at the start of that choir was to learn to sing the song that we are going to sing for you now. And we have several members of the Montpelier Flood Choir joining us this morning. Eliza Gilkyson wrote Requiem in response to the 2004 Asian tsunami, which took the lives of 230,000 people in 14 countries, primarily Indonesia and Thailand. It was triggered by a massive earthquake in the Indian Ocean. It's been arranged for choir and dedicated to victims of natural disasters, and has often been sung in response increasingly to climate-related natural disasters, particularly water-related disasters. In this piece, Gilkyson invokes Mother Mary as a universal symbol of solace and nurture, suffering and sacrifice. And while the name originates in Christian texts, Mary is said to be the most universal contemporary religious figure, with Taoists, Hindus, Muslims, and Buddhists recognizing and praying to her as a universal symbol of unconditional love. In some earth-centered spiritual practices, Mother Gaia and Mother Mary are seen as one and the same. It's in this universal spirit that we sing, and Kim Pierce will first read the words to the song.
Requiem. Mother Mary, full of grace, awaken. All our homes are gone, our loved ones taken by the sea. Mother Mary, calm our fears, have mercy. Drowning in a sea of tears, have mercy. Hear our mournful plea. Our world has been shaken. We wander, our homelands forsaken. In the dark night of the soul, bring some comfort to us all. O Mother Mary, come and carry us in your embrace, that our sorrows may be faced. Mary, fill the glass to overflowing. Illuminate the path where we are going. Have mercy on us all. In funeral fires burning, each flame to your mystery returning. In the dark night of the soul, your shattered dreamers, make them whole. O Mother Mary, find us where we've fallen out of place, out of grace. Lead us to a higher place. In the dark night of the soul, our broken hearts you can make whole. O Mother Mary, come and carry us in your embrace. Let us see your gentle face.
Let us continue in this time of prayer. Will you take another breath with me? We've all been holding a lot, haven't we? Thank you, choir, for letting this gift of shedding tears come forward. In the corner over there. You don't have to touch my tissue. I have in my notes that I was going to say, let us acknowledge all that is held in the silence of our hearts this morning, but I think my tears and stifling is pretty noisy. So it's not just in the silence of our hearts that we share together in our grief of its many varieties and colors that is present. The grief in our not quite post-disaster reality. The grief of all that we've lost since July and well before that. The people, the places, the normalcy we thought we had. And we make space in this time of meditation and prayer for whatever is present for you, whether it is tears and sadness and sorrow and overwhelm, gratitude for community and presence and vulnerability, wonder that we get to live this life at all. We are holding it all together with compassion. I will also want to lift up into our space some news of communal concern,
Some of you might not have heard about the loss of a member of our community, longtime UCM member Eleanor Ott died on August 13th at home, peacefully. Eleanor had lived for a long time with Parkinson's disease and kept up a very active, creative life, not able to be quite as active in the community. So our hearts are with everyone who knew and loved Eleanor, and in gratitude for all she gave to the world. I invite you now to find a deeper presence in your body, perhaps finding your feet on the ground if that's accessible and comfortable to you, allowing your hands to rest gently on your lap, or perhaps to have a hand on your heart or your hand in the hand of a beloved near you. Perhaps you are your own beloved this morning and you want to hold your own hand with gentle compassion. And I share with you these words of prayer by Lynn Cox. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none. We give thanks for this time and this place of renewal. We give thanks for the ability to begin again after the disaster, after the tragedy, after the loss, after meeting the challenge set before us. Grant us the courage to continue on the journey, the courage to speak up for the well-being of others and ourselves and the planet. May we forgive each other when our courage falls short, and may we try again. Grant us hearts to love boldly, to embody our faith and our values in living words and deeds. May our hearts open to embrace humility, grace, and reconciliation. Grant us the ability to learn and grow, to let the spirit of love and truth work its transformation upon us and within us. Grant us a sense of being at peace in the world, even as we are in motion. Let us cultivate together the strength to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be on the journey together. To this we add the silent prayers of our hearts. And we move now into a time of quiet meditation, after which we'll join in singing the meditative response, Return Again. Words are in the order of service.
Return again,
I'm going to take another deep breath. The reading I have to share with you this morning is by Ursa Goldenrose, who is 13 years old and is from Hardwick, Vermont. This poem was shared on the Young Writers Project in mid-August. The river speaks. There is a web and it holds us. Pieces come apart, so we help rebuild it. We are a species that has forgotten our place on the web, so the earth reminds us. It shows us that there are some lines that we do not cross, and if we do cross them, the water rises, pushing us back. The water comes and it takes. It's the destruction of what we've built, but also the reconstruction of the natural world. The water roars, it cries, and it heals, even when we feel hurt. It washes over land that was stolen and poisoned. It warns us as we build our walls. The river speaks. It wills us to understand years of neglect, hurt, and carelessness that have seeped into the sand. The river is strong, stronger than us. It will reclaim its path, slowly healing the world. We are a thread in a web that is breaking. We have forgotten the path. We have forgotten the way the river speaks. It wills us to understand this is not just our land. When the waters swelled in the North Branch and the Dog River and the Winooski on July 10th and 11th, it was not just our homes and downtown buildings, not just our roads and bridges that were damaged. Wildlife and ecosystems of the web that holds us were also harmed. Fish communities that live in mountain streams have experienced a severe reduction in their population, with young fish in particular not surviving the strong currents of the swollen streams. Flooding stripped waterways of small amphibians like salamanders, which lay their eggs under rocks in the riverbeds that were tumbled over and carried downstream. Salamanders that did survive the displacement returned to unfamiliar habitats, for the insects that provide their food and nourishment must also reestablish themselves. Injured turtles with cracked shells are also among those in the web that suffer from the impacts of flooded waterways. While it seems that there may have been some beneficial impacts for some species that live along the water, biologists note that it is harder for wildlife to recover in places where humans have interfered with the flow of the river. On our too hot planet, the swimming, slithering, and soaring living beings of the earth are also suffering from the effects of the climate crisis we have caused with our greenhouse gas emissions. This past summer was yet another season of weather extremes and climate disasters, from the riverbanks in our own backyards to the smoke-filled skies above our northern neighbors, to the fire-devastated island of Maui in the windswept and warming Pacific Ocean. The planet cries out, and we cry with her in grief and anguish. All that we do that harms our planet, that wreaks havoc upon ecosystems and earth systems, comes from our forgetting, as the poet writes. We have forgotten our place on the web. We have forgotten the path. We have forgotten the way the river speaks. How do we find our way back to remembering, to returning once again to the home of our soul? The eco-activist, writer, and Buddhist scholar Joanna Macy envisions a great turning, the transition from an industrial growth society to a life-sustaining society. This great turning requires actions that keep the harms of the industrial growth society at bay, everything from marches and protests to soup kitchens. The great turning also requires the creative and courageous development of new ecologically based structures, many of which are actually a recalling of ancient ways of living in mutuality with the earth. And perhaps most importantly of all, the great turning requires our own turning inward and an examination of the spiritual turmoil we have wrought within ourselves that lies at the root of the turmoil we have caused in our planet's natural systems. We turn inward to face the grief of what has already been lost, of what and who we will continue to lose, and of the impact of our actions. We turn inward to awaken our spirits and our consciousness. We turn inward to remember what we have forgotten. In Judaism, the period of holy days that are now being observed are called the 10 days of Teshuvah. Teshuvah is sometimes translated as repentance, but its literal translation is return. Jews are called upon to return to themselves, to the essence of their best selves, to the source of the holy. Rabbi P.J. Schwartz shares this reflection on the 10 days of Teshuvah. He says, one theme that I am always reminded of is that we can recreate and renew ourselves, as well as the world around us. Judaism provides us with a time of year for us to speak about ourselves differently, examine the world with a clearer mind, and remind us that with a commitment to ourselves, we can become who and what we want to be. Jains have just concluded Paryushan with their day of repentance, Samvatsari, and on this day they too seek forgiveness for any wrongs they have done, and they also renew their pledge to protect all living beings. Within Judaism, Jainism, and other religious traditions lies our human intention to notice the impact of our actions and inactions, and to hold ourselves accountable to living in right relationship with others and to repair the web that holds us together. This act of acknowledgement and atonement is not easy. This might actually be one of the most difficult spiritual tasks that we are called to engage in as part of our spiritual journeys. I believe there is just great wisdom in religious traditions that make atonement and forgiveness the center of communal festivals and rituals, because it's easier to do hard things together. In the act of acknowledging our wrongdoings or the ways that we have hurt others, we are tending to the interdependent web of all existence. We are tending to the relationships that we each depend upon as beings in need of care and belonging. The good news is that we can recreate and renew ourselves. It happens over and over again. The ways that we have missed the mark and not lived as our best selves is not the end of the story. There is yet a chance for honest reckoning, for forgiveness, and for repair. In the spirit of repentance and returning to ourselves and the holy, religious leaders across the world came together last November to create 10 spiritual principles for climate repentance. And as the 27th United Nations Climate Conference took place on the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt, Jewish and Christian leaders ascended the top of Mount Sinai to read these principles and to call on us to recognize human responsibility to love and protect nature and treat all life with reverence. And then from Mount Abu in India, a spiritual leader shared the principle that we are responsible for the well-being of all life today, as well as for future generations. And from Mount St. Francis in Indiana, Catholic priests declared that a disciplined spiritual life is helpful in overcoming the challenges of climate change, and that we can act knowing that every action counts. Just about a month ago, religious leaders from many traditions in all parts of the world came together beside the great expanse of Lake Michigan in Chicago to lament together the destruction that we have wrought on the planet and the suffering that this destruction has caused. And in this climate repentance ceremony, they read aloud the 10 principles, they prayed and they chanted and committed themselves anew to living in harmony with the earth and all living beings. In this collective act, we are reminded that we not only harm, but we repair. These strings that connect us to one another can become frayed, and we can strengthen them when we are willing to recognize how we have erred and we take steps to make amends and start anew. And I invite you for just a few moments now to quietly reflect on how your relationship with the earth might need repair. Where do you notice sorrow and grief? Where do you notice guilt? How do you long for restoration of kinship? You might have noticed there are some pieces of string strewn about, and if on the backs of your chairs. And if it helps you to be meditative to hold something, you're welcome to hold one of those pieces of string as you reflect. Where do you notice your own sorrow and grief? Where do you notice guilt? How do you long for a restoration of kinship? In facing the ways that we have erred, we then allow ourselves the possibility of making amends. In noticing what we have forgotten, we can remember the deeper truth of our connection and belonging to the living systems of the earth. And we can then choose the next action that moves us in the direction of wholeness and healing and survival. Perhaps then we can be a thread in a web that is not breaking, but that is mending. We can take part in the great mending of the fraying threads of humanity's relationship to the earth and in the great turning towards a renewed and sustainable world in which we are but one part of the great web of all life that flourishes and thrives. So may it be. We are going to join now in singing a closing hymn, You Are Enough, and I think Danya's going to lead us perhaps a little bit to remind us of the song?
Right. We did sing this a number of times last year, but we don't have music for anything, so, you know. So Eliza will play it once through, the whole melody once through, and then I'll still lead it up here. You'll probably remember. Please rise if you would like. So one more time.
And as we close our service, we extinguish our chalice and carry with us its flame of truth, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and the week ahead. And as we do so, let us say together our mission statement printed in the order of service. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. May you know your place in the kinship of all life and be renewed and sustained by this belonging. May you remember the web that holds us and stay ever committed to its repair. May you remember that you are enough as you go gently on this earth. And we conclude our service with the postlude.